If your life is a jar, what are you filling it with first? Like you're constantly doing something, yet going nowhere? We live in a world that celebrates hustle, glorifies being busy, and rewards people for multitasking. But deep down, something's missing. Because one day you'll look back and realize you chased emails more than dreams, filled your calendar but not your heart, and spent your precious days reacting instead of truly living. But what if I told you there's a simple glass jar that explains everything? A jar that holds the secret to a life of meaning, purpose, and balance. A jar that, once you understand it, you'll never look at your life the same again. Inside this jar are rocks, pebbles, sand, and something even more surprising. And each of them, they represent your life, your relationships, your health, your passion, your distractions. So here's the question. If your life is a jar, what are you filling it with first? Is it the things that truly matter, or the things that don't? Because by the end of this story, you might just realize you've been spending too much time pouring in the sand, while your biggest dreams are still waiting on the table. Let's begin. The professor walked in without saying a word, holding only a large, empty jar and a quiet smile. No books, no notes, just presence. He placed the jar on the desk and slowly pulled out a few large rocks, each about the size of a fist. One by one, he dropped them into the jar. When no more could fit, he looked up and asked, "Is it full?" The students nodded. "Yes." He shook his head gently. "These rocks," he said, "are the most important things in your life. Your family, your health, your dreams. If you lost everything else but still had these, your life would still have meaning." Then he paused. "But if you don't make space for them first, you'll run out of room." Most people fill their days with noise, meetings, messages, distractions, and call it a life. But deep down, they feel something's missing. Why? Because they forgot to place their rocks first. And once your jar is full of everything else, there may be no space left for what truly matters. After the rocks, the professor poured in a bag of small pebbles. They rattled as they fell, slipping into the spaces between the larger stones. The jar began to look even fuller. "What about now?" he asked. "Is it full?" The class hesitated, then nodded. "Probably, yes." "These pebbles," he explained, "are the other important things. Your job, your home, your car, your degree. They matter. But they're not your foundation. And that's the truth, isn't it? We spend so much time chasing promotions, buying stuff, hitting goals, but at the end of the day, they're not what we miss when life gets hard. They're not what we cry over when we're overwhelmed. The pebbles make life comfortable, yes, but they don't make it meaningful." Next came the sand. Fine, almost invisible. He poured it gently, and it filled every tiny gap left in the jar. "This," the professor said, "is the small stuff. Social media, endless scrolling, binge-watching, gossip, impulse buys, the things that steal hours without giving anything back. It doesn't shout. It doesn't warn you. It just fills you up. Slowly, quietly, until your day is packed, but your soul feels empty. No weight, no meaning, just noise." Then he looked at the class and said something that landed like a punch to the gut. "If you pour the sand in first, there's no room left for the rocks." And that's the problem. So many of us are filling our lives with sand. We wake up and reach for our phones. We chase likes instead of love. We fill our hours, but not our hearts. Just when it seemed the jar couldn't hold another thing, the professor picked up a small mug of water and slowly poured it in. The class watched as it trickled through the sand, slipped past the pebbles, and settled between the cracks. It didn't overflow. Somehow, it all fit. A hand in the back of the room went up. "What does the water represent?" The professor smiled. Not the kind of smile you give when you're amused, but the kind you give when you've waited your whole life to say something true. "Ah," he said softly. "That's the little joy. It's the cup of tea you didn't rush, the walk you took with no destination, the laugh that came out of nowhere at midnight with someone you love. It's the quiet, unexpected moments that remind you life isn't just about purpose or progress. It's about being present. Even in a life that feels full, there's still room for joy. But only if you place the rocks first. Because if you fill your days with distractions and noise, the simple joys will have no space to exist. And joy, real joy, isn't something you chase. It's something that flows into the cracks once you make room for it. Most of us wake up running, and we don't stop. Our calendars are packed, our inboxes overflowing, and we move from one task to the next like clockwork. We check boxes, hit deadlines, and scroll until our eyes blur. And yet, when the day is over and the noise finally fades, we lie there staring at the ceiling, restless, aching for something we can't name. Why? Because we filled it wrong. We filled our days, but not our hearts. We stayed busy, but forgot to be present. We gave our time to everything, and our love to almost nothing. The professor's jar wasn't just about space, it was about weight. What you carry in life matters, and the truth is, you won't remember the sand, the emails, the errands, the endless distractions. You'll remember the rocks, the people you held close, the dreams you dared to chase, the nights you stayed up laughing with someone who mattered, the moments when life felt real. That's the cost of filling it wrong. You don't notice it right away, but one day, you'll look back and wonder how something so full could still feel so empty. Here's the part we often forget. You can start over. No matter how much sand you've poured in, how many distractions you've chased, or how long you've delayed what really matters, the jar is still yours. You can dump it out. You can reset. You can begin again. Today. You can pick up your rocks and place them first. Make time for your health. Not when it's urgent, but now. Call your parents, your siblings, your old friend, the one you've been meaning to for months. Paint that canvas gathering dust. Write the page. Take the walk. Say, "I love you." Not later. Now. Because life doesn't wait for you to find time. You have to make it. And the best part? It's never too late. Never too late to live differently. Never too late to realign with what truly matters. The jar doesn't come with rules. You get to choose what goes in and in what order. So what will you fill it with tomorrow? What's the first thing you'll place? Because every day gives you another chance to build a life that feels full for the right reasons. In the end, this was never just a lesson in a classroom. It was a mirror. A moment that quietly asks you to look at your own life and ask, what am I filling it with? Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're pouring something into your jar. Minutes become hours. Choices become habits. Time passes. And once it's gone, you don't get it back. So the question isn't, is your jar full? The real question is, full of what? Because someday, someone will look at your life, not just what you owned or achieved, but how you made them feel, what you stood for, what you gave. That's your legacy. So fill your jar with courage, the kind that chases dreams even when it's hard. Fill it with connection, with people who light your soul on fire and love you as you are. Fill it with purpose, with things that outlast you. Because when your time runs out, no one will remember the sand. Let the weight of your life be felt in the hearts of those you love. Because you don't just get one jar, you only get one life. So slow down, look closely, and whatever you do, place your rocks first.